Right. Hey, everybody. I'm Sam. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be doing a little in-depth investigation today into something that I really like and that I've taken a nice, healthy position in. So it's actually called Bird.Money, and we're going to get there in a second. I find that it's today's crypto is a low market cap one. And I've actually come around. I used to like these low market cap plays, but I actually think it's irresponsible sometimes. It's much easier to find something that's at like $1 billion that's going to go to like $50 billion, or like $100 million that's going to go to $10 billion, rather than finding something that's like $5 million and goes to $500 million. There's just a level of development inherent to some of the bigger projects which just can't be matched by these smaller ones. I mean, maybe it's just they don't have the money in the company, or they just don't have the backing from investors and VCs, or they just don't have it. So um, I think it's always hard. I mean, there's always examples, right? Going back to when I started in 2017, there's so many examples of these tokens which started out with almost nothing and then have gone on to be billion-dollar projects. I think the ship has sailed a little bit just because of the size of the market now, and it feels like all the valuations for investing into things is pretty high at the moment. But back in, I mean, I look at my podcast, right, and I'm gonna do another video uh, next week just on my small cap plays, like under $10 million plays. For the longest time, you could have bought stuff like back in 2019 and 18, you could have bought Aave, which was ETHLN then, for at like a $20 million market cap at next to nothing, and now it's several $1 billion. And that would have been, for $1,000 that you put in, you'd end up with like $400,000 or $500,000 now. And there's a bunch. Let me see if I can find this. I have it on Delta. I made a list, so I actually went back and I looked at my podcast, right? So I looked at everybody who was on my podcast, and I said, okay, what if I had just put $1,000 in each project as soon as they came on, like that not even when I spoke to them, but when I published it, which would have been later, which gives more like lag time, right, to invest into these projects. And what I found is that pretty much everything made money. I mean, there's a few that didn't really do anything and didn't go anywhere, but there was just like a couple, like Aave, which just crushed it, right? So I'm looking at my thing now. Okay, so the best performers, right? So I'm just assuming that you put $1,000 in each one. The best performers would be Aave. So for every, I'm just gonna hold this up. So for every $1 of Aave, let me see if I can get this to focus. Okay, so for every $1 of Aave, it would turn out to be like $116,000 as of today. For every dollar into Melon, which great project as well too. Every dollar into Melon turns out to 48,000. Every dollar into Elron, which again has staking as well too, and this one probably is a lot more, turned into $40,000. $1,000 into Ren did 20x. I had Sam on. That's right, I had Sam a while back, and now that's FTT's done an 18x since then. Cadena's done a 15x. Loopring's done a 15x. Synthetic's done a 13x. Part of it's just the size of the market now, but pretty much you could have bought anything back in the day. The only things that didn't really do well, like a 2x from Beam, Beam kind of didn't do great, and BZRX really hasn't done anything. BZRX is one of the first ones that I spoke to. Same with Kava as well. Kava's only done a 4x as well. So with some market things doing over 100x. So Aave did 116x. It's pretty crazy, like it's just interesting how these projects work out. Some work out, some don't. When I spoke to Stani, I actually liked my chat with Sonny at the time. I thought it was pretty cool. Um, I just didn't think that maybe I just didn't have an idea of the scope of the size of the market, and that's probably just me being too young and not having the experience that I do now. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how all this played out. So I want to go through. I want to take the next few months to kind of go through some of the things about how I would build a portfolio. Um, I think there's like two core positions that everyone should have in their portfolio of ETH and BTC. As always, you probably want those, maybe some Solana. So you could have like ETH, BTC, and Solana. Those could be like equal parts, and those would be the largest assets in your portfolio. Because if you just assume that like there you have the trifecta of money, right? With Bitcoin, you have the smart contract platforms with ETH and Sol, but they do two different things, right? So there's more security on ETH. Ethereum's never gone down. It's never had an outage before because too many people are using it. So, and Solana is like new tech, and Solana is doing some cool stuff. So I think the main thing is that just the like those three things could be like the core of your portfolio. And the great thing about that is that like as you put more money into those three assets, you then can start to use them to borrow against in dollars and access DeFi and get a higher yield from either doing stablecoin farming or some other thing. So, so yeah, I've got this like hacking cold from my kid. She goes to preschool, and then just like brings back all this like stuff, and I end up with like mucus like draining out of my face like every 2 weeks. It's great. She gets it as well too. So I've been thinking about my portfolio because it's not optimal. I own a lot of stuff that my friends have, and it may not be like the best one that's situated for like long-term growth, but it's projects that I support. Like I have a big ass stack of fracks just because I like Sam a lot and I think he's doing some great stuff. There's been like projects like Abra, which have done really well. I think I have a stablecoin. I like stablecoins a lot. So Abra's done really well. I did another video on that actually. So I think since I spoke about Abra, it's done like a 4x. I think it has a lot more to go as well too. It's just the beginning. But yeah, this is one that I've been looking at for a while. I actually have a pretty big position now in this, and so let's take a look. So we're gonna take a look at BirdMoney, like caw, like a bird, right? So Bird is an off-chain analytics oracle bringing machine learning to Web3. Right. So it doesn't mean anything. Let's read the deck. I'm gonna go through the deck. I'm gonna tell you what I like and what I don't like. And so let's download this deck. Got it. All right. Can I full screen this? I don't think I can. I wonder if I can get rid of this like side thing. 2-page view. No. Present. There we go. Okay. Let me just make sure that. Okay. I'm good. Okay. So BirdMoney advanced analytics delivered on chain. Let's take a look at it. Ooh. Is this like, okay, so machine learning plus blockchain, untapped predictive analytic opportunities. Right, so they're right about the graph. The graph has done pretty amazing stuff, but the graph is doing indexing, which I don't think these guys are. And they're right about AI, but how does it play in with what they're doing? Okay, so most of the time, this is like simplistic explanation of machine learning. Machine learning, you have to like train a data set. The input, so it's always the input. Like everybody makes it seem the outputs are always like good, but to have good outputs, you have to have good inputs, and so that's where the hard part is, because not everybody can figure out how to get good inputs. Okay, so there's lots more. Okay, so machine learning. Okay, this is a weird chart. This is really hard to understand. So there's like all these things going around, and there's just a lot of text on this page. Um, so I think what they're saying is that like the the models get better results, which provide more sustainability, and then give more models, better models. And better models bring in more users who then drive more income to the platform and then raise the price of the token, which then drives more users to come in. Okay, so this is the three things that they've kind of laid out. I think there's some other stuff coming as well. No, these are the three things, right? So I think let's not talk about the third one because I think it's like why talk about non-crypto stuff when we're in DeFi summer. DeFi can take you to $1 billion. Like if you have a good DeFi idea, it'll take you to $1 billion in like a couple of months. So the first one is variable DeFi lending terms, which the terms would have to be significant more. Okay, so this is interesting, right? So this is that you could use a platform like Compound or Aave or really any platform to access lower interest rates because of your history. And then, so let's say like there's the base, right? So you'd have to start with the base, like you have on Aave. So on Aave or Compound, you just have like a base rate, which is what you pay. You pay like 4%, 5% for dollars. And that's great. But at the same time, let's say you are very low risk, you've done a lot of on-chain transactions, you probably deserve to get some lower rates. I don't understand it like it works in my head, but at the same time, if the person defaults, it's just an address. You have no recourse to go and get the money back from them. So unless there's like KYC involved with this, I don't know what can happen. I'm sure it's interesting because they actually have unsecured lending from with Maple, and Maple's another one that I want to review. I think I was checking it out. It looks pretty cool. Uh, but yeah, the next thing that is said to be doing is like optimize fundraising for launchpads. Right. So by offering better terms to investors that are more likely to engage in supportive behaviors like long-term holding or providing liquidity, early stage projects can raise smarter money. And okay, so this is like supporting the IDO platforms, which I've never really used. Um, I don't know why. Like, I think I use like VCs as a signaling effort. So sure, some projects come out on IDOs, but I don't think I know any big projects which have been successful out of IDO. Maybe it's just like survivorship bias. I'm sure there's a few. Um, but it's not even like the offering, right? I mean, you can do like an offering if you have a base, but at the same time, it's the fact that you have to go through like a platform, which is not Binance to do it, or like the place where Flow came out, CoinList, and then something about ecom. I don't really care about that. So all they're saying is that they have this Oracle, all the information comes in, and then it goes out to products. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at the roadmap. I think we're past build out and it's scaling now. No, they don't have any. I think they're like in between 1 and 2, right? Um, they definitely don't have users for their products. I think they may have products for the users. Okay, I think this is it. So you can see that it's like a machine learning thing. We're gonna go back and take a look at the website again. Let me just check my live stream is good. All right, all good. Okay, so their website is like a little confusing from like UX standpoint, um, but that's not really why I like this one. I think like you can say all this stuff, um, but it looks like they're partnering with CyberFi. That's where the staking is happening right now, and there's some other stuff as well. But nobody really um, that important. There's no like VC funds that have attached their name here, but that's typically what you would find with these lower cap projects. So let's go take a look at the apps. What I like is they've actually like, built some stuff. So there's a cross-chain transfer app, which to take my bird from ETH to BSC. I don't know why I'd want to do that right now. Um, but yeah, they've built this. This is okay. I guess like building a bridge is fine. Um, they have like an Oracle app, off-chain Oracle Analytics. Uh, uh, we'll come back to that. Let me do this. Let's try that again. Right. Right. Okay. So, sorry, I just wanted to switch out my to like an empty wallet. Okay. So, Bird Farm, liquidity mining and staking. There's not really any right now, right? So there's like audits going on. At least it's here. There used to be some farming, but I don't think there's. There is farming actually. We'll get into that in a second. Um, but they have Oracle Analytics, which I don't really understand what's going on here. And then finally, they've built like a little lending app. This is the thing that really like piques my interest a little bit because if they've built this lending app, maybe um, maybe with the lending app, it can provide some sort of ability for you to get these loans, and especially if you own the Bird token as well too, then yeah, it would let you like acquire all this Bird. Bird goes up in price. You then can take a loan against it. Let me do this. Let's do this. Okay. So let's take a look at Bird. Right. So what's cool about Bird is that you can buy Bird and they already have these like supply markets. It's on ETH, so you're gonna have to pay a lot, but at least there's the markets here. I'm sure like with some liquidity mining or something, it could be uh, filled up pretty quickly. But there's only what $25,000, $26,000 worth of tokens here. There's like 11K worth of Bird, and then 14K worth of Ether. So it's not even really like worth borrowing because you're gonna have to pay $100 to get in and out. But what I like about this project is that there is some stuff here. They have it looks to be like they're having a good. Actually, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell with these like lower cap projects. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. But it's like 5 million, and if you assume that they get to like a healthy price of like 100 million or more, I mean that's a 20x or 10x now from here. So let's go take a look at Dex tools. Um, let's take a look at Dex tools. Right. Safe Shields is my like, not even 5 million, but 500,000. Like it's like a whole nother tier downwards. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the Bird chart. And I guess this is what is exciting, right? Is that I just found this the other day and it shows like classic signs of accumulation. So let me go full screen here and zoom out. So yesterday it moved around 50%. But if you look at how the chart's gone out, right, if I just zoom out a bit more, maybe like close this down a little bit, right? So you can see that there's a clear upwards momentum heading up. There's actually like a lot of the initial pump that came off. It went up to $200. Then there was this kind of like long decline. And then this period from August, essentially until yesterday or 2 days ago, was like a long accumulation period. This was like a lot of people probably dumping their tokens, probably thinking that after 200, oh, hey, we're back down to 5 million market cap again. And then also watching the ETH price just crush it for the past while, and so many other projects which are just crushing, and then you have nothing. So I think a lot of liquidity is coming into the project. A lot of tokens have been accumulated now, and hopefully it's up only. I saw some people doing some charts, like injecting hopium into my veins. That let me close this. I think I need to turn it to log. Let's turn it to log. Oops. Oh, that's strange. Okay. So if you turn to log, right, and you kind of like draw some log charts, uh, like up here is kind of the area where it's going to go to, which is like somewhere between like 1,500 to 3,000, which would be like a 30x from here. Um, I don't know if that'll happen. That's a lot. Let's just say we're at like $10 million right now, like $11 million right now, and it goes to from that market cap up to 100 million. That's 10x. So that would be like $1,200. Um, a 30x would be incredible. I mean, that would be a $300 million project, and maybe it gets there, maybe it doesn't, but I think there's at least like a it's not impossible. I think it's pretty reasonable actually to say that this is going to go to, I don't know, 50 million at least. That's 5x reasonable, right? Even doubling, even breaking all-time highs, like definitely going to break all-time highs at some point. And even that is like $260, right? So even from here, that's a 2x, which is again is reasonable for a project which has a product, is releasing more soon, and looks to be. I mean, they're not incompetent, right? So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Maybe it's 100x. 100x would be from here to like 10,000. Jesus. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Go check out BirdMoney. It's Bird.Money. Um, Interesting project. I think it's probably one of the better ones under 10 million, and we're gonna get there in a couple of days. Next week, I'm gonna go over the projects under 100 million that I like. 100 million, and yeah. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you later. Let me know if you like this. If you like this project, what's to like, what's not to like. Again, with when the market is booming like this, and you have such small projects that um, don't have a product market fit yet, it's just gambling. The one thing that I can say about this is that with BirdMoney, go back to the website. With BirdMoney, I don't know. It looks like they have something, right? Oh, the one thing that I liked the most was like how deep the liquidity pools were. For some reason, for such a small market cap coin, they have like 20% of their tokens, or like 30% of the tokens, along with ETH, the same amount of ETH. So like 30% of the market cap was in the Uniswap pool, which is really, really weird for these like low market cap coins. Like, let me go back. Can I get out of here? Let's get out of full screen. So yeah, okay. So the market cap is $11,000. They have 553 ETH and then 17,000 tokens. So that's like 553 ETH. It's like $1.6 million in ETH plus the equal amount of tokens on the other side. So like the liquidity pool is like $3.2 million, and the market cap is like 12. So that's a huge pool of money to trade with, which makes it really easy to get in and out of this position. You're not like holding some like illiquid shitcoin like SafeShield. Like the SafeShield has like a, let me go back, right? So SafeShield has a like bad liquidity, but it's also okay. So here we go. So this one has a $500,000 market cap, but in liquidity, oh wait, they have $253,000 in liquidity. Interesting. So they have 30 ETH, which 3 times 4,000 is like 120,000 plus the, oh, so they have 120,000 on one side. Actually, okay, maybe it makes more sense, but it's not terribly liquid. Actually, SafeShield's pretty liquid. If you wanted to scoop up a ton of SafeShield, you could. It's something to think about. Okay, well, it's going to wrap it up for me. Let me know if you have any questions. I like doing this, and I like